Hello, my fellow patriots. This is Alex with Disabled Vets Perspective. This is a Lisa update, and I know I haven't been on here for a while because we've been just living a little, spending our quality time together and enjoying ourselves. And we're still keeping up on news and stuff like that, but the YouTube thing becomes a little overwhelming because of the amount of research, the time it takes to get involved, and you have to devote yourself 100% to this. And when I devote 100% of my time to research and things like that, I mean, we're talking 16 hours a day. So I find myself neglecting the most important thing in life, and that's the relationship that Lisa and I have, our marriage. I'm trying to grab something here, but anyway, so we have had a PET scan. She has. I say we because we're in this thing together. Hell, we're all in this thing together because I've been keeping you guys up to date on it, and I feel like everybody's going through this together. So anyway, the PET scan was done, and the prognosis is that she's what they call stable. Excuse me. And stable does not mean cancer-free. It means that the cancer that she has isn't getting smaller, and it isn't getting bigger. And they do these based on, it's infrared that shows up. The cancer shows up as hot spots. And the primary cancerous tumor that she has in her esophagus, or her trachea, has not decreased in size. The brightness of it has increased slightly. Three other points of concern are she's got a spot up here right in her clavicle, right under the neck there, that has just now started to glow a little bit. And also down in the lower left abdomen, basically right next to the damaged lung, she has another couple of spots that are starting to glow. Now, those will be watched. In 3 more months, there's another PET scan. This is every 3 months for the rest of her days. And at that time, if the primary tumor has gotten brighter, or these other 2 hot spots have gotten brighter, then they will schedule for isolation radiation. They'll radiate those little spots. And that worked the last time when she had one of her lymph nodes flare up. They went ahead and did 10 days of radiation, and the thing went away. So it's a little bit like a game of whack-a-mole. When one gets bright, you get a lymph node that starts to flare, then you have to shoot it with radiation and try to get it to go away. Now, the immunotherapy that she takes is a pretty high dose, and it does have a very small amount of chemotherapy in it. So it still makes her sick when she has to go in and get it. Fortunately, because of it being a higher dose, she doesn't have to go in but every 3 weeks. So every 3 weeks she goes in, gets an infusion. A couple of days she's sick as a junkyard dog, and then she comes out of it, and she has a couple of weeks of comfort. So that will continue. She will never get off of immunotherapy. That's the thing with the rest of her life now. It's like some people have to take blood pressure medicine or whatever. She will have to take the immunotherapy for the rest of her days. Now, stable, like I said, means just that. She's stable. We're not likely going to beat this thing. That's the reality of cancer, because although there are cancer cures, there's no medicine in it, no money in it, rather, for Big Pharma. So that it serves them no purpose to release this stuff. And I know they've got the cures because my father was a physician, did medical research for the last many years of his practice. He worked with tropical medicine and went to level 4 biolabs and the classified level 5 that they, doesn't exist, of course. And he held a bottle that was basically a 7-day regimen like you would take for an infection, like an antibiotic. And this stuff would cure all but brain cancer. I think brain cancer and pancreatic. It would cure everything except for those two. And my dad asked him, why the hell isn't this out there? And the point blank answer was, there's no money in it. And my dad died of cancer, prostate cancer. So, unfortunately, as a physician, he was angry when he was dying because he knew there was a cure and he knew he didn't have to go through this crap. But what can we do? We are just the plebs. We take what we are given. And, the cabal doesn't give a shit about our death, our misery, or anything. They get off on it. They love this shit. They probably make bets on how many people are going to suffer and die and then, drink their cognac and smoke their cigars and laugh about it. So that's where we're at. Eventually, we'll lose this battle. But Lisa is very strong. And she's a tough old bat. She's 5'2", 100 pounds of pure aggressive bulldog. And we've raised 2 kids, and she was still the boss of the household. And my kids never challenged her. So she's always been tough. It's been hard on her. It's been hard on us both. But a year and a half ago when this started, we had stopped planning for next week. We were planning things in days. As an example, one of the YouTube shows that we like to watch is Trenton Alley, and I enjoy watching them build. I'm a builder myself, so I enjoy that kind of thing. And that show is on Mondays and Fridays. And at the beginning of this thing, we were using Trenton Alley to give her a few more days at a time. She was that sick. And on Monday, when the show was over, I'd say, well, they're going to have to do something else on Friday, so you're going to want to stick around and let's see what they got going Friday. And I don't think Trenton Alley would ever see this, but if they did, I could thank them from the bottom of my heart for carrying us through. But it's just, at that time, that's what we were doing. We were doing things in 3 to 4 day increments, trying to get her to the next hurdle so that she was keep fighting. She was so sick. Now, she's able to function. There's a couple of days where she's not feeling too hot after she gets the infusion. That's going to continue. But then she gets a couple of good weeks of time, that she doesn't feel sick. She's tired, but she's okay. So this will be how it goes as long as God allows us to continue to get time. And all of the prayers, all of the support from you folks has been another massive benefit to this. You guys are more important to us than you know. I don't know a lot of you personally, but I'm a hugger. If I saw you personally, I'd give you a hug. And I'd thank you, because I know that you all have helped get us where we are. Now, I wanted to take a minute also and mention one of the good friends to the channel, Mr. Tony over there in California, has sent me, I know he sent me a while ago, but these are cards that are basically kiss my ass cards, and they offer the information on exemption of the mask and vaccine exemption. There are statutes that are all marked down on here, and As far as legality goes, this is a legal document because it has all the statutes, and you're not just saying, I don't have to do this. Now, I think he sent me 100, and I've got about 60 left. I've handed them out to quite a few people, and thank you, Tony. I appreciate you. You've been a good friend of the channel for a long time. Keep up the good fight in California, I can tell you that. But anyway, if you guys want one of those, I'm going to be getting a couple of books of stamps, and I can't send, if I send more than one, I got to put an extra stamp. So, I mean, if you want a certain number, if you have family members, you got to give me that number, and then I can put the number of stamps accordingly. But also, I will mention that stamps are damn expensive right now, so be easy on me. But if you want one, or if you want a couple of them, three or four, whatever, you need to get down there into my description section and give me an email, and on your email put as the subject matter exemption card, and I will get one of those out to you. We'll try to do that as quickly as we can. Now, the next subject is always the most difficult. I am a man who doesn't seek help. I either do things on my own or I don't get them done. That's just the way I've always been. But this is the kind of time when it's beyond me. I make a little bit of money on a VA disability. Because of the fight that I had with the VA for 17 and a half years, they have punished me by making me what's called unemployable. If I were to get a job of any kind that showed a positive income, then they could potentially take the entire disability away from me, which would leave me destitute, because I can only function for a couple hours at a time, and nobody's going to hire somebody like that. And Lisa would lose her medical and things. So, so we can't risk losing her medical. But with her medical, we have a $3,000 deductible. And you guys that have been with me for a long time know that we went through this last year. Now, what we did do was, I told you if we had money left over, we were going to donate it to the next person that needed it. Unfortunately, at that time, that was before we knew that she was going to be on immunotherapy the rest of her life, and it's expensive. So the money that was left over stayed in the pot, and we have enough money to get her through February. We have to come up with the first $3,000 in cash to get her medical each year, and we'll have $1,700 as soon as I go to the bank and put some more in there. So we're damn close to this year's deductible. If you want to help us out, then I have a Venmo and a PayPal under my information on my channel. Anything that you want to do or feel like doing we would be overwhelmingly thankful. And I hate doing this, but I know that this is not something that I can do alone. If it wasn't for your help last year, I don't know where we'd be. Well, I do know where we'd be, and it wouldn't be a good place. So I'm asking you again, if you want to help get us over this hump so that she can continue her care, then I would greatly appreciate it. Now, the last thing here is I do have my other channel where I tried to start doing projects. I have a few things lined up, but that's got to be on a hiatus, because 100% of my liquid asset, liquid cash, goes into Lisa's medication and to her treatments. So there's not enough left for me to be buying stuff for working on my projects. They will wait. They'll sit there and they'll wait until that day comes when I can do something on them. But until that time, my other channels just basically idled. So that's sort of how that goes. But anyway, as far as all the news going on, it's all crazy. There's a lot of stuff that is out there, and I'll give you just one little thing to maybe do for your fun on your spare time. The B112-259, I think, the number for the Omicron. Just for fun, go look that up under gematria. Change the numbers to letters, change the letters to numbers. So B would be a number 2, 11 would be AA. Do that and see what comes up. It's very interesting. A little modification that's going to be done to the prick, as they say, to be able to function against the new thing. So anyway, that's pretty much what I got. I want to try to keep this to her update. I'm going to, you know, we'll do a video once in a while, but I just can't do them a couple of times a week anymore. I gotta focus on Lisa. She's my rock. She's everything that I want in the world. So I don't want to be in a position where I feel like I'm neglecting. So I'll get some videos out. We'll talk a bit, and you know, we'll hang out. I'll try to figure out how the hell to do a live stream. It's probably going to be on this phone because they've got me throttled so far back on my internet signal that I can barely watch videos without them buffering all night. But anyway, that's what I got for now. If you guys like what I have to say, you want to follow this, I don't call it a journey, it's a walk through hell. If you want to follow this with us, then by all means subscribe to the channel, tell your friends about me, listen up for news updates and some of the craziness. But until next time, y'all, stay in the fight.